Hi, I'm Chrissy Holt. Let's raise your hand if you know you're going to have cancer this year. How about diabetes in the next 5 years? That's the problem with our healthcare system today. We have to predict what's going to happen to us so we can figure out what health insurance to buy. So let's go ahead and play a couple of games on prediction. This is a good one. So if I go to CarMax, it's pretty likely that I'm going to buy a car and not a hot air balloon. Let's continue to play this game. What's predictable and what's not predictable? So on this game, if I was born in Buckingham Palace, odds are I'm probably part of the royal family, and maybe I really am a princess, instead of just a family from Annapolis. These things are predictable. I'm not a princess, but this is completely unpredictable. 3 babies born in America. Are they going to have cavities? They're going to break a leg? Are they going to have ADD? Are they going to have addiction? Are they going to have hemophilia? Absolutely no way to know what's going to happen to these children and what they're born with. But how about buying insurance? That matters on what state you live in, who you work for, right? If you're old, if you're poor, who you know, who you don't know. It's a game. How do we know how to play the health insurance game? How much is it going to cost? How do we actually budget for that? Why don't we change the game? Why don't we stop stabilizing the insurance industry and start talking about healthcare for the American people? Let's talk about something different. The Affordable Care Act was an attempt at this, but the problem was they used for-profit insurance companies, which are for-profit. They're not thinking about people. They're thinking about their profits. So it doesn't work when you put profits over people. Now, Maryland was able to expand on their Medicaid, and so more people were able to get access to insurance and to some health care. But it still doesn't work like that because we can't budget for what we can't predict. We don't know what's going to happen. So as a result, a lot of bankruptcies happen because of medical care. And of course, the Affordable Care Act helped to decrease that, but it didn't go away. And it should actually be zero. Zero bankruptcies because of medical, because you know what? You were sick, right? It was unpredictable. Let's talk about what's really going on in America today. We're paying about $10,000 per person, which is twice as much as Canada, the UK, and Germany. We rank 31 in life expectancy. We pay 50 to 60% more for drugs in this country. And as a matter of fact, we are paying for health care for each other in our taxes through Medicare and Medicaid, in our deductibles, and in our premiums. So the money is there, y'all. We're already paying for each other. So what's happening? What we found out is 60% of the revenues of the 5 for-profit insurance companies actually get their revenue from our taxes. What are their CEOs actually doing if 60% of their revenue is coming direct from us? That's a problem. What they're doing is administering, and then they go back to Congress and they go, you know what? Americans are a lot sicker than we thought. We can't stabilize. We need truckloads of more money. That's called stabilizing. And when they do that, it's actually a bailout for the insurance companies. People then die in the process. But you know what? These guys are getting rich because look at some of these CEO salaries. They're actually making $16 million, $22 million. And remember, we gave them our tax dollars, and these guys are taking it home in their salaries. So we went to Congress and we said, you know what, we want to stop doing this. We want to do improved Medicare for all, but they said we can't do that because of the campaign financing. We actually need to stabilize these insurance companies because it comes back around to us in campaign financing. But you know, these aren't new ideas because in 1912, Teddy Roosevelt wanted it. In 1945, Truman tried to do it, and he was going to add dental to all Americans. And in 1965, it was President Johnson that took it out, and he said only Medicare and Medicaid, and we lost. What we want is single payer. That is public dollars to private delivery. It's what Medicare for All is all about today. We want that. We want to be taken care of. So at this point, America is the only developed country in the world that does not have a universal health care system. We are discriminated based on age, income, illness, and race. It needs to stop, and it could stop. Those bills are sitting in Congress today, Senate side and House side, and these are our legislators that aren't signing it. The Medicare bill did drop here in the state of Maryland, and we could make it happen. A single-payer, improved Medicare for all. It's within our reach. We need to make it happen. People, doctors, everyone is sick and tired of fighting with insurance companies. Join us in this process. It's a curse to be born sick in America today. Let's end that for the next generation. And by the way, get out and vote. Thank you.